Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here and welcome back to my channel, and today's video where we have another slight rant up my sleeve because I figured I haven't filmed like one of these videos in a while, at least it feels like it's been a little while, where I kind of just sit and talk about The Sims 4 and the state of it all and what I personally am shocked about that isn't in the game yet. I feel like we now have a fair few packs that are like staples of the game, such as University. We also have Seasons, but there are still things missing that one kind of felt missing from packs when they were released, and two have been staples before and are yet to be reintroduced into the Sims 4 version. So I thought I would do a mini listicle of 5 things that I personally would love to see in the game, and I'm quite frankly shocked that they aren't currently in the game yet after 6 years of The Sims 4. This September will be the 6th year of The Sims 4 life cycle, which is just, that's the longest Sims life cycle we have ever had. And how are we feeling about it? So at number 5, I thought I'd start off pretty basic, and number 5 is cars. I'm throwing this one into the mix purely because how much talk I see about cars on my timeline. I am shocked that the Sims team haven't just been like, you know what, we're sick of seeing this request, it's the same as toddlers, just throw them out there. I am like, it's unbelievable, especially with the release of Eco Lifestyle, because that world had so many petrol stations in it. What was with Evergreen Harbour having that many petrol stations? I don't understand it. Literally, as I was doing my early access, I was like wandering around the world, just like in different neighborhoods with the camera, panning through, getting a feel for everything. There were so many cars around. It was the same in Get Famous as well. I feel like there were a lot of cars around in Get Famous, and it just makes no sense to me that we currently don't have cars. In the past, I have historically said that I don't want cars in The Sims 4, but I think now that we've had a lot of the staple packs, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of ready for cars. I also played Sims 2, and they kind of just pull off the lot and then drive a little bit and then disappear. So that's how I'm kind of feeling that they probably would work in The Sims 4 if we ever did get them. And going back to The Sims 2 made me realize, you know what? Like, driving isn't everything about cars in The Sims like it was in The Sims 3. There was some still really cool features like the fixer-upper cars, which I never stop going on about. The, like, just being able to sit in your car and jam out to the radio. Do you know how many times I have done that as a teenager? And also, like, now as an adult, like, if I love a song, I will happily sit and listen to it till it reaches the end, even though I pulled up to my driveway like 3 minutes ago. You could also woohoo. I also have this idea of like a car game pack that would introduce like a mechanic career, fixer-upper cars, also like still being able to take your teens out for a driving lesson, but it just be on like a car park. Because when we're all learning to drive, like you've done this, I know you have, your parents have just been like, let's go to the industrial estate, there's barely anyone driving there, the roads are really wide because of all the lorries, you can drive my car, get a feel for it, or we'll go to Tesco's car park and you can drive around. We've all done it, so it could quite easily happen in The Sims 4. I'm just shocked that it's not in the game yet, because it's all I see anyone talk about these days. For number 4, this is something that a lot of people felt was missing from Get Famous. Honestly, I quite like Get Famous as a pack. I know a lot of people don't. I know fame isn't for everyone in The Sims 4. This kind of did feel like it was missing, but also I do think there is enough content in Get Famous for this to be like its own separate game pack, but it is singers and bands. We have karaoke, we got that in City Living, there wasn't a singing career introduced. Then we also got Get Famous, where was there a recording? No, there's not even like a recording studio or anything, which is why I think, again, this could quite possibly be given as a game pack. And I know people are going to be against that in the comments because you're going to say, well, it could have been included in those 2 previous packs. That's all very true, but you know what? Those packs have been released. They've been released for years now. It didn't come with those packs, unfortunately. The only way we're going to get bands and singers is if they either give them to us in a dedicated pack towards them, or they come in a bigger expansion, but I would prefer it in just a game pack, because in a bigger expansion, that means less focus on something else, and also it just is more money at the end of the day. I really want to be able to create like a teenage garage band. Bands were actually included in the survey that we did back at the beginning of the year, which I'm kind of hopeful that most people wanted them, because I do feel like they are a staple and have been for quite a long time in The Sims. I want my teenagers to have something to do. I want to live out my Freaky Friday Lindsay Lohan dream and just create a super ultimate girl band that rocks out and shreds on drums and guitars. Yes, I've been watching too much TikTok, but Sims Team, I would very much approve of a singers and bands game pack. Number 3, and I have put this in the middle, this list that I've done doesn't really show like how much I want something. I've just thrown them into a list. But this one's like middle ground because it's quite a big feature, but it's also a feature that I don't want to see introduced in a pack, and that is story progression and just some like random goings on. I feel, and I say this all the time, The Sims 4 doesn't have enough negatives. It doesn't have enough consequences. The Sims don't have enough personality. There isn't random things happening that can dictate your Sim's life. And I know not everybody enjoys that, but I personally do. And it's the biggest complaint of The Sims 4 right now. Everything feels too happy-go-lucky. And also, we have to direct our Sims to do every single little thing, which I get. Micromanagement is nice sometimes in a simulation game because you really feel like you're telling the story, but just sometimes I want to be able to take my hands off the wheel and just be like, Jesus, you got this? Okay, I'm going to give you my mouse and keyboard. Please, can we... It's the year of 2020. I know everything else is falling apart around us, but could we please get some story progression and some like TVs falling off the wall, or just something that makes my life more hellish in the video game so that my real life doesn't feel quite as bad. Please. And I've talked about story progression a lot before now, so swiftly moving on. I would love to see fairies. Not furries. I don't know why. I think it's my accent. Whenever I say fairies, people think I say furries. Those two are two very different things in my mind. Fairies, little cute things that have wings. Furries, little wolf boys on Fall Guys. So we've had 4 supernaturals. Wow, mermaids and aliens really just out here being forgotten. They were part of larger expansion packs. We've had 2 dedicated supernatural game packs, and those have been vampires and Realm of Magic. I sent out a tweet the other day that said, Vampires is my literal baby of Sims 4 packs. It can do no wrong in my eyes. And I firmly stand by that. I know a lot of people don't like it. I know a lot of people feel like it doesn't fit in with their gameplay or their build style. I love that pack. Even though I don't play it as often as I play other packs, it is, to me, the definition of a perfect game pack. The gameplay, yes, there was so many different elements of it. We could choose whether we wanted to be a good vampire, a bad vampire, and then there was like this slight like middle ground. There was enough distinction between the choices, whereas Realm of Magic, there wasn't really a clear distinction. Like, I had most of my magicians learn all areas of magic because there wasn't this like good v bad scenario. I would love to see fairies. Okay, this might just be my need to create a cute gay fairy couple. So what? I want to do that. I think fairies could be really, really good in The Sims 4 if they do it like vampires and not like Realm of Magic. If they do that distinction of like good fairies, bad fairies, and then like a nature fairy, that would be my favorite pack. hands down. I'd just be like, yep, take my money. I will pay for that pack if they make it. I know I get my packs for free and I'm very lucky to be in that position, but I would happily buy that pack for numerous other people because I'm like, guess what? You need to experience this because fairies in The Sims 4 deserve some love. Maybe werewolves too, but I'm really, like, werewolves don't really interest me all that much. And last but not least, the how do I even say it? It's the word on everyone's lips right now when it comes to talking about The Sims 4 and what we want to see in the future, but that is farming. If Animal Crossing New Horizons gets farming before The Sims 4 gets farming, I'm gonna lose my cool. I swear. The Sims is like the perfect game to have a farming pack. And I know not everyone's gonna be for it, especially with the type of packs that we've had recently. We've had Eco Lifestyle, we also had Off the Grid in Island Living, we had a whole gardening overhaul before Seasons came out, but I feel like a farming pack would just tie all of that up really nicely. It could be like the last pack to bring all of those loose ends together, to maybe reintroduce horses, which honestly I am firmly against having horses in my game. And people always get upset when I say that, but I played The Sims 3. If you had a horse on your lot, it overrode everything. Horses were so overpowered when it came to the queuing system and the free will interactions that The Sims did. That's the part of horses that I do not want back. That's the part that can honestly, like, stay hidden in The Sims 3. Oh, I've just realized that my Twitch chat is going to be in the comments like, Molly's a horse girl confirmed. Molly's a horse girl, that's why she wants farming. Big horse girl energy. But it's not even like the horse side of things. I think that gardening is really good in The Sims 4. I think gardening is great. I usually have one of my Sims sometime garden at some point in their life. And do you see how many games have farming that are so popular right now? Like, we have Ooblets, we have Stardew Valley, we have Littlewood, there are Harvest Moon. There's a plethora of farming simulation games that also kind of tie into like life simulation, but not as realistic as The Sims 4. And I just think a farming pack would just kind of bring everything together, like the community centers that we got in Eco Lifestyle, the gardening that we've had since base game and got an update in Seasons. We could have like a farmer's market. It could be so good. And like we could have like cows and chickens. We could have like, it would just make the game harder as well. Like you could fully just live off your land, which I think would be incredible. And that's kind of why I want it. And that pretty much wraps it up. Those are like the 5 things that I am shocked on in the game because of how many people have requested them and the sheer amount of comments I see talking about them. And also just for my own personal preference. Like I don't think fairies would be super popular. I know that there are probably a lot of players who do want them. I don't think it would be the majority of the community that want to see fairies, whereas stuff like story progression and bands and farming, they definitely feel like they hit a much wider audience. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. I thought this could be a fun video just to kind of get a grasp on what you guys want to see. I feel like whenever I do these videos, it's just like a nice reset in my mind to be like, hey, what does 1, my community want, and 2, what does the wider community want from the game? And then I tend to jot those things down, and if I ever have a meeting with the Sims team, I'm like, recently this is what I've been seeing a lot of. Trust me, right now it's cars and farming, I'm telling you. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Please do get involved. Leave a list of 5 things that you really want to see in The Sims 4. They could be stuff packs, they could be game packs, they could be expansions, or just general life things that you feel is needed. And thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all all in my next one. Bye, guys.